Oh, hey there, grab a snack and buckle up because this is a textbook case of a nice guy spiraling into emotional chaos after being told no one too many times. He thought he was the main character. Plot twist, he's the walking red flag. Let's dive in. She starts with, well, I ended up telling my mom that you asked for sex. I was super upset and uncomfortable. She told me to stop hanging out with you, so I don't think she'd appreciate if you came over honestly. Oof, when your behavior gets you banned by the mother, not a red flag. That's a fire hazard. Then he replies, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I just said that because I thought that's what you wanted. I want to just spend time with you and get to know you honestly. If sex ever comes up, that's cool, but that's not what I'm looking for. I promise I'm really not that kind of guy. And yet, here we are. Saying I'm not that guy right after being that exact guy is giving. Please ignore the thing I just said. Then he adds, I'm sure you can tell. Smiley face. He really dropped a smiley face after getting rejected, like he was closing a flirty deal, not catching a boundary. She says, what made you think that's what I wanted? When we spoke over the phone, I thought I was clear I wasn't attracted to you on a non-platonic level, and you know I'm seeing someone. Crystal clear. You could have typed that on a billboard and he'd still be out here squinting like, wait, is this Morse code for date me? Then he replies, yeah, I'm just awkward is all, and I didn't think it was serious between you and him, so I thought you were trying to signal something to me. I'm sorry if I was wrong. I tend to overthink these things. I'm glad we can hang out anyways, but if you're serious about this other guy and there's no chance that we'll be together, then I'll leave you alone. Take care, Isabel. Maybe we can hang in the future when I get a girlfriend and I'm not such a horny bastard. Laughing face. Nothing says growth like calling yourself a horny bastard and laughing it off while still fishing for a second chance. Then he asks, you're really not attracted to me? She answers, I'm not attracted to you? No, you'd think that would end it. But this man treats boundaries like invitations. He says, then what was all that the other day? Maybe that was nothing, but I felt something. You really didn't feel anything? She replies, no, not really. I actually noticed more red flags than usual. Red flags waving like it's a parade and he still thinks it's confetti. He goes, okay, well, I'm not going to argue with you right now. Why would you ask me to watch movies with you? And all that other stuff. What is this strategy? Strategy? Sir, it's called being a decent human being. Not everyone who's nice to you is trying to unlock a romantic side quest. She says, that's what friends do. He replies, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because it doesn't revolve around him. Classic. He continues, I don't think you can be friends with men like that, she says, but it seems like you only care to hang out because you want to be more than friends. I have plenty of male friends like that. He replies, well, I'm down to do that anyways. I just thought you were using me emotionally. She asks, how? Then he goes full philosopher mode. Like I said, women take sex seriously and men take emotions seriously. You can use me emotionally just as much as I can use you sexually. There it is, the exchange rate between sex and feelings brought to you by someone who's never respected either. Then he says, it's not fair to say that only men use women. She replies, you said men take love seriously and women take sex seriously. I personally take sex seriously and love even more seriously. He goes, I don't know about that. She says, I can use you, yes, but how did I? Explain. He says, I think you're playing games with my emotions. She asks, how? He replies, you're just playing dumb, you know. She says, no, I don't. He hits her with, I know your type, and she's done. Okay, if that's what you think, I'm not going to try and convince you otherwise. Then he says, well, at least I understand. Doesn't that warrant any respect? She answers, you think you understand, but I don't think you do. He mumbles, maybe. She asks, do I deserve less respect because I don't want to sleep with you? Like I don't understand. And he really says, no, you deserve less respect because you use men emotionally. I don't use women sexually. Ma'am, this man just gave you a discount on dignity because you wouldn't sleep with him. I'm going to need a mop for the irony puddle. She asks, how do I use men emotionally? He says, I expect a mutual relationship. You act like you like them or something. She replies, I'm sorry you thought that. I really don't know how you thought that hanging out with you and treating you with human decency is flirting or whatever. He goes, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's other women that use men emotionally. You really think you're different? And she claps back, you really think you're different? He says, no, that's why I offered to have sex with you, because I want to show show you I'm ready and it's your choice. She replies, but you still have the expectation of sex. He goes on, can't you just say no? Isn't it cute at all? She says, I did say no. He responds, to have a guy offer so casually? I don't though. She shuts it down. It's not cute. No. He backtracks. I'm okay not having sex. Okay, well, I thought it might be. I'm sorry. I take it back. I should know better. You really didn't say you were too serious about that other guy though, for the record. You made it seem pretty obvious. You weren't into him that much. I respect that normally, but it was different this time. She says, whether I'm seeing someone or not shouldn't legitimize me not wanting to have sex with you though. He says, yeah, but the offer wouldn't be so offensive if I'm just looking out for you. I just want you to be happy. She asks, how are you looking out for me though? He replies, if you're not happy with the other guy, I would rather be your boyfriend or something, because I think you like me. At least I'm trying. Then she drops truth. Everything you said about spreading myself thin and talking to just anyone was so I could make more time for you. It's so self-interested. I don't like you like that. I'm actually really invested in who I'm seeing. And he still goes, well, it's about balance, Isabel. I don't even want you to see me if you're serious about this guy. Maybe it's not about me. Did you think of that? She asks. What is it about then? He says, you hanging out with guys for no reason and using them emotionally. It's not fair to yourself or the guy. She says, okay, well, thanks for your concern. Then he spirals. All I want from you or anyone else in my life is just to see them make sense of it all and do something reasonably. So I guess we're not going to hang out after this anymore. And maybe this will just be the way you are. She hits him with, and maybe this will just be the way you are too. He says, maybe we're good for each other because we can talk like this. Do you talk to the other guy like this? She says, we actually communicate better than this. He goes, I think this is right though. This is balanced. I really think so. This is people who can really relate talk to each other. How do you talk to him? What do you mean better? She replies, I don't feel like I can relate to you though, and I don't think you understand where I'm coming from. He says, I do though. Why else would I be asking these questions? Think about it, Isabel. I know you understand. You're a smart girl. She responds, when we communicate, he takes what I say into consideration. I do the same. Sometimes we don't agree, but we always try to have a level of understanding between us. He says, we are agreeing right now, even though we're arguing. This is like magic. This is what it's all about. She asks, how are we agreeing? What are we agreeing on? He replies, we understand each other, even though we don't agree. That's what I mean by magic. She says, I don't under you, though. Understand. He says, well, you must understand something or else you'd be cutting me off right now. You know I've been used emotionally. You can see that. She replies, I'm not cutting you off because I'm a decent human being. I've been stonewalled before and it's not fair. Then he says, yeah, I've been there too. Obviously there's something wrong with us. I don't know what exactly. She says, if I was using you emotionally, we wouldn't be having this conversation. He finishes with, but it has to do with using people emotionally. Can we just learn together? We don't have to be each other's possessions, but we can follow rules and respect each other. I really believe in that. I know you understand. Go ahead and date this guy if you want, and you'll see that you can't talk to him like this. And it's not gonna work out, and then please message me. And she wraps it up with, you're welcome to believe that, but my relationship with him is actually the best I've ever had romantically. Then he says, I've told you everything I know, Isabel. Okay, I'm not jealous because I know you don't talk the same way. There's something romantic even in this. I hope you understand, but I'll leave it at that. She says, you don't know anything about my relationship with him though. This is all assumption and speculation on your part. Believe what you'd like though. And he ends with, yeah, I know what I see. And that, folks, is what happens when you confuse basic kindness with a marriage proposal and turn every boundary into a personal attack. She gave grace, he gave delusion. This wasn't a conversation. This was a slow motion rejection. He just refused to exit. So, to the Isabels of the world, you're not mean, you're not confusing, and you don't owe anyone your affection just because they tried. Block, bless, move on.